I'm here in West Hollywood, California, where Hyundai has just unveiled two very important new SUVs for the US market. On my right over here is the all-new 2022 Hyundai Tucson, and then of course right next to it is the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy Edition. Now this is a new luxury model of the Santa Fe, but I'm going to focus primarily on the Tucson because this is the all-new fourth generation. So let's take a first look. So as most of you guys know, compact SUVs are what families are buying. It's essentially to replace mid-size cars as the new family SUV. So as you can see, the new Tucson is a very important addition for Hyundai. The company sells around 140 to 150,000 of these every year. It's become their best-selling SUV. So when you look at the design of this all-new fourth generation, you can't not help but notice how different the styling is. This is of course following the sensuous, sporty design language that they first introduced on the Sonata a couple of years ago. On the Tucson, I really love this bold look. Hyundai is trying to make this SUV stand out because there's so many different choices. You can see the parametric grille is right front and center. It's flanked, of course, by these LED daytime running lights, which have a geometric jewel-like design, which is kind of incorporated into the actual grille. When the lights are not on, they're hidden in the actual grille element, so you can't see them. The headlight module is actually a separate piece that's lower, or that's below the actual LED daytime running light. It's an LED design, of course. I'm not entirely sure if the LED headlights and LED daytime running lights are standard. Hyundai didn't provide that information just yet, but you can't argue with how bold this new SUV looks. The previous generation was definitely starting to look a little bit more kind of blend into the crowd. There's so many choices out there, so I'm really glad that Hyundai has gone with this really bold look. Now, underneath the hood, Hyundai will launch the Tucson with 3 different powertrain combinations. The base engine, the gas-only version, will be a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated as part of their Smart Stream engine technology. That makes 187 horsepower, so that's about 6 more horsepower than the previous generation. The second option will be a hybrid Tucson, which will come standard with the 1.6-liter turbo, 177 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 44-kilowatt electric motor that raises the output to around 226 horsepower. Hyundai says that that model will go over 500 miles on a full tank of fuel. Now, of course, there's also a plug-in hybrid version coming, which has that powertrain combination with a bigger electric motor and a bigger battery, about a 13.8 kilowatt-hour battery. That will offer around 28 miles of range, electric-only range, which is not quite as much as the Toyota RAV4 Prime, but it's about matching what you get on the Ford Escape. The hybrids will be paired with a 6-speed automatic, while the gas-only version will have an 8-speed automatic. Front-wheel drive will be standard. Hyundai says that all-wheel drive, their H-Track all-wheel drive, will be an option. They're targeting 28 mpg combined for the base gas engine and front drive. We don't have fuel economy numbers yet for the hybrid model. Now, looking around the side profile, you can see the new Tucson. I apologize for the lighting, it's a little bit dark in here, but it's significantly bigger versus the previous generation. Hyundai says it's around 6.3 inches longer overall. So now it's 182 inches long. The previous generation was actually on the small side. A lot of its competitors were larger. The wheelbase has also been stretched to around 3.1 inches longer. And this is, again, right in line with a lot of its competitors, which really helps with the overall space on the interior, because this is, of course, riding on a new platform. It shares a platform with the new generation Hyundai Elantra. And you can see the wheels on this particular one, they're a 19-inch design. They're wrapped in 235/55 series tires. I'm not entirely sure what trim level this is, but I do like the new look of the wheels. I also like how Hyundai didn't go with this massively big, low-profile wheel, because I think with SUV buyers, they want to have a little bit more of that cushion to give a little bit of a softer ride quality. A couple of other styling elements I'm noticing here. You can see there's a lot of creases in the body lines. It really makes this SUV look a lot more wide. And Hyundai says that they added this really interesting element here with the chrome trim along the window element, or along the window frame. It's thicker here to kind of create an impression that the vehicle is lower and wider, because it's about a ½ an inch wider and a ½ an inch taller versus the previous generation. Now, at the rear of the vehicle, you can see the design has this very bold look with the full LED taillights. They're a full width design, and they have that same kind of geometric shape that you get in the actual headlight module. I really like how it's a full LED design as well. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be standard across all the trim levels. And because this new SUV is a lot bigger, Hyundai says they've improved the cargo capacity by about 25%. Now you get around 38.7 cubic feet of total space, which is about up 7.7 cubic feet for this versus the previous generation. There's obviously still no third row seat available in this car, but Hyundai also didn't provide numbers if you fold down the rear seats to give you the total cargo, but most competitors in this segment have around 70 to 75 cubic feet of space. Now, stepping inside the interior of the redesigned Tucson, first of all, Hyundai has now introduced their digital key. So if you guys have an Android phone, you can just use your phone to actually open up the car. You don't have to actually get a key fob out. They also have their remote parking assist, which is available where if somebody parks too close to you, you can kind of pull the car out by you pushing a button on the fob, which is all great technology features. Now, in terms of the rest of this interior, I have to say, they call this new space Interspace. That's what the designer said about this interior. And I have to say, it does look very nice. It looks very modern. I love the two LCD screens here. You have a 10.25-inch display here. It looks like another 10.25-inch display here. What I also find interesting is in the instrument panel here, there's no actual hood, which usually covers up the display, which is what you usually find. I find that this look makes the interior feel a little bit more spacious and more modern. I also noticed they've lowered the actual dashboard here, so it looks, or visibility is pretty good in this vehicle as well. The air vents are also airplane-like is what Hyundai says. You can see this is an air vent here, but it's very well integrated into the lines of the dashboard. I also kind of like the very symmetrical look to it, where you have both of these horizontal areas on the passenger and on the driver's side. In terms of technology, of course, you have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is definitely a new feature from the Tucson. You have wireless phone charging in this one. You have the company's push-button transmission selector. I'm seeing heated and cooled seats, a heated steering wheel. You have the full 360 camera, of course, and then this is the same steering wheel here that you find in the new Sonata, which I actually like the design of it. It's very comfortable to use. The leather feels really nice. It's got a tilt and telescoping design, which offers a good amount of adjustability. And then I also really like the feeling of spaciousness in here. The previous generation always felt a little bit too small, so I'm glad to see Hyundai has really stepped up their game for this next generation model. Now, in the rear seat, Hyundai didn't provide any quotes yet for actual space, but they did say it's about, the entire cabin's about 30% larger versus the previous generation, which should help a lot of buyers, choose this model, especially if you're looking to use it as a family car. Now, because the new Tucson is significantly larger, Hyundai claims that they are now able to tell customers that this has the largest back seat in the segment. Now, I don't have specific numbers yet. I imagine Hyundai will have that at a later date, but I am noticing getting back here, the seats offer a really good amount of space. The floor here is not completely flat, but you could fit 3 people across. I'm noticing that it feels significantly wider. There's good foot space underneath here. I'm finding some premium touches like rear seat air vents, 2 USB charging ports, and the back seats actually are heated on this particular one. It's probably a high trim version, although the materials here are hard touch plastic. The front seats have softer touch plastic materials, which is kind of the norm for this compact segment. And then above me, I really love this big panoramic sunroof. It lets in a lot of light. You are starting to find a feature like that in most of the segment. And I also noticed the seats also have a nice recline function, so you can recline it a little bit on those longer trips, and then you also have an armrest here that pops down to give you 2 cup holders. So as Hyundai's best-selling SUV here in North America, the all-new version of the Tucson is a very important addition to their portfolio. And after seeing this new SUV in person with its stunning new design, its really tech-focused interior, the additional room they've added, I must admit I'm pretty impressed with this new Tucson. I'm looking forward to driving it. I love the styling especially. I mean, even this little feature here with the Hyundai logo that's been completely flush mounted into the actual rear glass, I think that's a really unique feature that kind of takes away some of the dead space that some of those logos help create on the back of a lot of these vehicles. Now, Hyundai says the new Tucson will be going on sale in the spring of 2021. This is a 2022 model, remember, and they haven't announced the starting price just yet. Most SUVs in this segment start in the low $20,000 range, go up to the mid-30s. I imagine this car will obviously be more expensive, but until Hyundai announces full pricing, we'll have to wait until as we get closer to the on-sale date for final figures on that. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed my first look on this 2022 Hyundai Tucson. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews. Like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.